Hi, welcome back to Tiny Classrooms Live.
Hi, the doctor here, Don Zulu in Taos, New Mexico.
And I'm Artie Nathan, the HR guy here in the Adirondack Mountains. And our topic today is listening as part of communication.
What? I was distracted. Were you saying something? Oh, I guess listening is really paying attention, isn't it?
Well, yes, that's a part of it. You're right.
I couldn't resist. Listening is the other benchmark. Is 50% of communication, isn't it?
Yes.
If we're talking to each other, sharing, if we're instructing, whatever it is we're doing, in spite of what I might say, you've got to be listening too. What do you think? What about listening to understand? That might be the first piece of it.
Well, yeah, I mean, you have to pay attention so you know what the other person is saying. I mean, Don, you know that I'm hard of hearing, so I especially have to listen and pay attention because you don't want to miss things. And that's true in any conversation, in any communications. You have to pay attention so that you understand what's being said.
And attention is really kind of the first step of actually listening, isn't it? If I'm paying attention, I hear what you say, but I may not fully understand it. And so I may ask you a question clarifying the message. So is this what I understood you said, you meant? Is this what you mean? Clarifying questions help both people actually coming to agreement on what was said and what was intended.
Yeah, because both parties in a conversation or in communication have to be understood, both the speaker and the listener. And that's how you come together to make sure that the point of the communication is in fact understood.
That's right. There's a wonderful phrase that it sort of circles around in the psychology world, but seek first to understand and then to be understood. That's what we're saying here, isn't it? First,
Yes.
I need to understand where you're coming from, what you're hearing, what you're thinking, in order for me to be able to use that to be understood. Right? So that really means to be open to other points of view. What's that mean for you, Artie?
Well, in business communications, someone is trying to convey an instruction or a message or a schedule. And so you have to understand what they're talking about and where they want to go with this. And both sides have to be open enough that both points of view are expressed and understood and discussed openly. That's the only way a conversation and effective communications happen.
Right. And, you and I had an experience with our recently where we all started out with one opinion about something we were going to do. And in the context of excellent discussion, back with openness, we actually came up with a third option that none of us had thought about before. And it was the activity or the action we wanted to take. So you're absolutely right. And what happens? Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Well, you have to be careful that when different points of view are expressed, that you don't get defensive. You have to be open in a conversation. You have to be willing to consider something. And if you disagree, then do so. But don't get defensive about it because you may end up missing the point.
That's exactly right. And causing God knows how many other problems. And it all helps us our agenda. What does know our agenda in communication kind of mean to you, Artie?
Well, look, you have to fully understand and appreciate what somebody is trying to achieve in their communication. And you have to understand what you are looking to receive from that communication. So both parties, again, have an agenda to get something across and to get something received.
Yeah, so I guess to start a conversation, if you want it to be really effective and you want to go, you really kind of have to begin with the end in mind, don't you? Where do I want to be at the other end of this conversation? And I'll navigate it properly. It helps me be very clear with the other person where I like this to go. But if I don't know where I'm headed, up where you are, and sometimes that's not where you want to be.
Well, certainly in business, communications should not be casual. They have to be planned. They have to have an end in mind. And you have to make sure that everybody gets there equally.
That's absolutely right. And I think maybe we're there equally now. Good communication on this. And so this week of discussing communication. So thank you very much for being here. Artie, thank you for being here.
Thanks. Bye-bye.